Okay, sorry. I'll let you go.
What's up, everybody? My name's Hiza. This is my friend Kaylah. She was nice enough to join me for an episode of Words with Friends.
Words with Friends? I love that. Sorry, go on.
I brought her on because I met her at the current acting studio that I study at in LA. If you don't know, I come up here once a week to do scene study with Gregory Berger.
Sobek.
Yeah.
Like Gregory Berger, Sobek, yeah.
Sovic?
Sobek.
Really?
Gregory Berger - Sobek.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is why we're friends, because she educates me on shit I clearly don't know. I wanted to bring her on because we did a scene probably about a month ago. Kaylah is like one of the best people I've met out here. We become really close friends in a matter of literally a month and a half, I would say. I think we read each other's minds, honestly. But aside from all that, she's just a great human being. So I wanted to bring her on here to have conversations about what we do, why we do it, and why we're passionate about it. And this industry that's super competitive.
Hell yeah.
Kaylah, welcome. Thank you for coming over. I know you're a busy person living in LA.
No, not really. I'm just kidding.
She's very busy. She doesn't give herself enough credit. Yeah, what got you started in the first place? Like, when did you know you wanted to be an actor?
I was going to college in Utah. I was studying criminal justice to be a lawyer, and I just really was not liking it, honestly. And then also the school emailed me and was like, hey, your GPA is really low. So I got that email and I was like, damn, maybe college isn't for me, you know? So I've never been good at test taking or anything like that. I dropped out like that day. I was like, all right, I'm done. And then I was scrolling on Instagram and I actually saw an acting class come up and I was like, oh my God, I forgot that's I've always wanted to do this. Like, even when I was little, like, people would always say, oh, you're like Jim Carrey, but like a girl.
So you were funny back then?
You said I was not funny back then?
So you were funny back then.
Oh yeah, not now, but yeah, back then. Anyways, I was like a girl version of Jim Carrey, and I've always wanted to do it, but I never thought it was an actual achievable goal. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So then I signed up for acting classes that day.
How did you feel during your first class? For a lot of people, it is detrimental to what they do moving forward. I know some people, they went to their first studio, they're like, I'll never pay for training again. And other people are like, I'm just gonna wing it, you know?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I found my acting teacher, he was in Philadelphia, so it was all online. Burke with our studio, like, that's my first in-person class ever.
Wow.
His name's Michael Bohovsky. He's like amazing. But yeah, my first class, I like loved it. I felt like I was like high.
Obviously, being from Utah, moving to LA, when did you know it was time for you to make that transition?
I was consistently booking in Utah. Like every single weekend, every week, I was on 3 to 4 sets a week. I felt myself at a little bit of a cap there. I couldn't really...
You outgrew the pond.
Yeah, a little bit. So then I decided, okay, I want to move to a bigger place.
What was that transition like going from Provo, close to Salt Lake, right?
Yeah, it's like 30-ish minutes.
So Provo, Utah, all the way to a major. And can you describe what Provo was like compared to LA? Because I think people need an example of the contrast. Yeah.
Utah is very religion based, and it's specific with the Mormon church, the Latter-day Saint church. There's not much diversity in Utah. So moving here, like the different religions, the different churches that I even see, like just driving, the different, so diversity, religion, culture is a huge thing. Like, it was insane, and it was almost like a shock. It was kind of like a culture shock, but at the same time, it was like refreshing. What
about the market? When you came out here, did you already have representation? Did you look for representation when you got out here because you wanted something new?
I was looking for representation before I moved here, and I kind of just lied that I was already lived there. I already lived in LA, because I mean, if they say, okay, well, let's meet, then I'll hop on a plane and go there.
You were willing to?
And I did.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I told them, I said, I live in LA. Looking for representation. And I submitted to like 70 or whatever.
70?
Yeah.
No exaggeration.
No, like I have like an Excel sheet, like probably like 70, yeah.
Wow.
And then sure enough, one of the agents got back to me and was like, we would love to meet you. And I was like, perfect. And they were like, oh, tomorrow. And I was like, well, actually, I'm just out of town. However, though, next week works great for me. And so that day I booked my flight, came over to LA, met with them, and then I signed with them.
How's the interaction been with them? Are you satisfied, happy with them?
I understand there's a lot of variables going on with the strike, LA fires, now the riots. So I'm trying not to judge them as agents because it would be hard. And they've actually gotten me a lot of good, big auditions that I didn't know even they could get. I will say my expectation to what I am getting is completely like not there. Like I thought I was gonna be getting like 2 to 3 auditions minimum, like a week from an agent, you know? And I've heard stories from my other acting coaches or my other people that I've worked with that they do get that. But that was like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? So my expectations to the reality was a lot different.
So before I came to Bergs, I did my work in San Diego. I started with the basics at called LA Acting Studio. They have 2 hubs, one here and then one in San Diego. My coach drives to both. And shout out Irene. She got me into the basics.
Hell yeah.
I was with her, and then I did a showcase to get my first agent with Carrie Scott. And everybody knows, anybody in San Diego who's an actor, they know Carrie Scott. He has something called the rehearsal room where he does a showcase, I think 2 to 3 times a year, spring, summer, and fall.
Okay.
They're actually showcasing right now. And I got my first agent, and in the process, he was just telling me, guys, anybody who tells you it's slow right now, that's bullshit. So you're always hearing 2 different sides of the story, and maybe it is true. I know there are some people who are working, but also I think a huge part of that people don't talk about is self-submission and just putting yourself out there. You know, you're working, like right now, me and her are working on a project. Hopefully it comes to fruition. She's working really hard and we're going through the groundwork.
Like, I'm like working through it. No, I'm just kidding.
the story, I mean, she's a great writer. I can't.
I'm not a great writer.
You don't take credit for anything.
Dude, I'm not a great writer at all.
2 months down the line, we'll see if that's true or not. Berg always talks about it. Make your own
yeah.
A lot of people aren't utilizing that. It's not 1972 where all you have is like a cinema camera. You have your smartphone. You have vlogging cameras that can make very good projects. And also, you are your brand. So what you want it to be, make it out to what you want people to perceive you to be. Even if you're faking it till you make it in the beginning stages, just do something actively to work towards your goal. And I think that's huge. Doing everything you can in this moment so that you're prepared. And that's being in class, that's studying, reading, continue to, you know, and you're one of those people that does that. So
I feel like you have to do all that to be able to, when your agent finally does give you an audition, you know, because it may be slow or maybe it's not slow and I'm just not the type of person that they're looking for, you know? But when I finally do get the audition, I want to be like ready. Yeah.
Shout out Jade. We were talking about one of the auditions she did recently, and just, that's a whole nother, for people who don't know, that's a whole nother side of acting that needs to be a skill that's worked on, is a huge part of the process. Very early on, one of my coaches was like, if you get into acting because you want to be famous, you're in it for the wrong reason. And I didn't understand what he meant, because I was like, surely a part of us wants to be famous. But what he's saying is, I've learned over time, if you don't love being in these books every day, studying Shakespeare and the plays and watching, learning, and also working with the coach, like, you're gonna be out of the game or the fight before you even start. You've stayed in classes since you started. I've stayed in class. I took a 2-month break because financially I just couldn't afford it. Yeah. But other than that, since I started 2 years ago, I hit the ground running, and I'm always working. You're always working. I think this is a difference maker between a lot of people, and people are like, oh, it's just, I don't know. You know, because some people will use that as a caveat to get out of the work that it requires to move forward. Oh,
100%. I also think that some people take classes and then the teacher is there to give you constructive feedback, and then they take that and they take it personally, and then they say, oh, I'm not a good actor, I should quit, or blah, blah, blah. And it's just more and more excuses. I mean, that's why it's there to learn. I want constructive feedback. Tell me what I need to work on, please.
I'm glad you said that, because you're absolutely right. And there's 2 sides. I think you need a coach that allows you the safe space to be criticized and know 100%. That it's not personal, like you said. Yeah. And then you have to receive it. Like, it's hard in the beginning stage. You're like, man, I put all this time into this character. I studied my script. I did this. And you go in thinking you're about to kill it. And to your first opening moment, they're like, start over. Yeah. You know, we did that.
Oh, yeah. 100% did.
But also, we are coachable. And being coachable is the main thing that I feel like really leads to a successful career. So
oh, yeah.
I'm so glad you touched on that.
I mean, even on sets, you are being coached by the director. The director has to give you direction, you know?
I will ask you this: have you worked with a director that did not coach you and just
let me do whatever I want? Yes.
No, I love that.
Oh.
I feel like it's a collaborative effort, and I know everybody says that, but like, I've had a few coaches where I really want you to do this.
Oh, you mean coaches?
Sorry.
Or directors.
Directors. Yeah, I worked on a project recently, and the dude was just like, I want you to do this. And then I did something different just because I'm like, I'm gonna give you a different take. And he's like, actually, I love that.
Oh, interesting.
You know?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
No, I thought you meant coaches. I have had coaches that do straight direction. And that's why I love Berg so much, is because he doesn't give us direction, because it's all on someone's idea.
Yeah.
You know?
One reason I love Berg so much is because he's like, let's just f it up for fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you f it up, for one, it lets go of the expectation of whatever you have in mind, and then you can try whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have something in mind, you're set on it, then it's a completely different dynamic to the scene. We've done some shit where I'm like, I don't know where that came from.
You came in with your shirt off on one of the scenes, bro.
I did, and I loved every moment of it.
Yeah, and Berg loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved it. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, that is true.
Everybody loved it.
How do you overcome no? Because we get a lot of those in the audition process, you know, final auditions. Sometimes you think you might land this role, and a lot of times we get tied to what can come out of it. If it's a big role on a TV show everybody watches, like, you know, this will really make or break. And then sometimes it doesn't work out. How do you stay committed? And what is your mantra when things like that happen?
How I stay committed is I actually love it. It's so easy to stay committed, honestly, for me, because I'm like 2 feet in. My whole body's in. I don't want fame. I don't want any of that, honestly. I just want to be on set every day. Like, that to me is like, I've made it moment is when I'm like consistently booking. It's kind of a long mantra, but the thing that I think of is, even if I do quit and if I whatever, at least I won't be on my deathbed wishing I did more, or wishing I did that, or wishing I did this. Like, I'm not going to be on my deathbed, and that's something that I live by. I live by YOLO. You only live once, bro. Like, you literally only live once, and I'm not going to be on my deathbed wishing I did something. That's not me. That's not what I'm going to do. My mantra, though, if I quit acting, I would have to ask myself, okay, well, if I'm on my deathbed, am I going to keep wondering, okay, well, but what if I stayed longer in LA? Or what if I tried this class? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. I won't let myself happen.
One of the scariest things for me, just because I think I told you, I don't really care for it out here, like California in general. And then I visited my mom in Louisiana. I would never live there, but I was like, man, it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
The people are really nice, like super nice.
Yeah.
And then you live out here in LA, you're like, somebody cuts you off right when you get on the highway. There's so many places I'd rather be, but I'm so committed to this, and I know that this is all I want to do. I want to be an entertainer in some capacity, and if it meant that I gave up on this, which I won't, like, I would still be entertaining somehow. That's
what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
I think I'm still going to be in the art industry. If anything ever were to happen, it would still be in art, creative industry.
Kaylah
Renee. Well, what about you, though? I want to know some stuff about you.
Honestly, I had like a whole moment of clarity when I was visiting my mom.
Yeah.
She's in Louisiana. She's bought a new house, and like, it's lovely.
Oh, fun.
But I didn't realize how much I missed her. I hadn't seen her in 3 years, and I was like, you know what? I want to move my mom out here. So I think that's my next goal.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, is your mom single, or is it just your mom?
She's
okay.
married.
So you'd move the whole family out. Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what God's.
We'll touch back on that.
Yeah, what God's plan is. I just know I miss my mom, and you know, she met my lady and everything. And
yeah.
she was like, man, I really wish we lived in the same state, and I was saying the same thing.
Was it the first time she met your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been with my girl for a year. I have not seen my mom in 3 years, and just because like the grit and grind of this, trying to find my footing, moving out here.
Yeah.
And then I normally go home, because home for me is Kansas City. That's where I was born and raised. I lived in Illinois too, but KC is home. She lives in Louisiana. So it's like I'd have to drive 9 hours to go visit her from KC. It's just, it's a lot. But that's next for me. And then also I've worked on a lot of projects since I last updated my resume. I want new LA representation, because I could do better. You know, like you said, no disrespect to who I'm with currently.
Right.
But I think I can find someone who more aligns with my goals.
Yeah. 100%.
And then I need to start submitting every day. I'm ready.
Oh, for self-submitting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I just feel like we touched on some great points, great topics. Is there anything that you want to say? Where can people follow you? Are you okay with everybody following you if they watch?
Sure.
Okay.
My Instagram. I don't know why I'm so nervous now. Just my name, _, middle name.
Do you want to spell it?
Yeah,
People
sure.
don't know your name, bro.
KayLah _RENE. Kaylah Renee.
What?
So I want to ask you a question real quick.
Mm-hmm. Dude, no.
With your, sorry, I just want to come in real quick. I'm always curious about people, but like, with you being as spiritual as you are, do you find anything within the act industry that tests your values at all?
Oh, all the time. I find in scripts, randomly, like, there's always something holy and then a cuss word.
Oh,
You know?
interesting. Mm-hmm.
So even in the script we did for He Got Game, there was one part and I was like, hey, I'm not doing this.
Yes, no,
You
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember as a kid, that was something I said very early on, and it stuck with me. I didn't even realize that until you just brought it up, but it's just like subtle stuff that people do or write in scripts that I feel like have no reason to be there. It doesn't add or take away from it. So if I can avoid it, I will. And I still, 31 years, I've never said God.
Oh, uh-huh.
You know, and I don't plan on ever doing that.
Good for you, honestly. Like sticking to your values and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's like, well, I'm a little bit, you know.
Dude, in this industry, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Like, let's not deny the elephant in the room. It
Oh,
can
well,
be manipulative.
Oh,
so,
100%, yeah.
So if you don't have like hard values that you stick to and you say no or yes, I feel like you'll get pushed anywhere. Speaking of which, nude scene, yes or no?
Nude scene?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah?
No, I would not do full frontal. I mean, like,
Implied.
implied for
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
That's fine. Implied anything, honestly, it's totally fine. No.
Implied anything.
Implied anything. No, I actually, me,
Oh my
like
God.
topless nudity has always been on the fence for me. I would not do it for something small.
Yeah.
It would have to be something huge. So I'm open to that. However, no. Full frontal, no.
Same.
No. Definitely not.
I had a script where like it was supposed to be like my backside. Mm-hmm. And I was like, would I?
But like,
you kind of ask yourself when
Yeah.
you're reading these scripts and these breakdowns, like, how far will I go?
yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. Also,
Have you had that conversation with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Is she very open to it?
we talked about it. Like when I first got with her, I said, hey, this is what I do. Just so you know, in class, sometimes we kiss. Like it's a part of the work. And she said, if you do it, I don't want to know about it. And like if it's on screen in front of us, I won't watch.
Oh.
Which is fair.
Yeah, 100%.
I still haven't like kissed the scene partner. Dude, every time I'm supposed to kiss somebody in the scene, I get so awkward. And I'm not even like
I do same, bro.
Yeah, like I'm not even a shy guy anymore, I wouldn't say. But there was 2 or 3 scenes at my old studio where my coach is like,
You're like,
and she
no.
gave me a scene from what's that movie? 500 Days of Summer?
Yeah.
Where it says in the script kiss.
Yeah.
And I went in and kissed this chick on the neck. Like this is when I was single. I haven't jumped that hurdle yet.
You're just such a respectful guy, Isa. That's what it is. Just such a respectful guy. You're not awkward. You're just very respectful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, I couldn't look people in the eyes.
Dude, eye contact can be intimidating for
Yeah.
sure. I've always loved eye contact, but no, a lot of people are like, whoa, you know?
Okay, to close this session, I want to ask one question. Ideally, for these last few months of 2025, what is your main goal when it comes to acting? And what's something you'd like to tap into?
I struggle with emotionality. Like my personality type is very blunt, direct, forward. My personality type is a controller, and I don't know what it means with like the blue, red, or I'm a red. Sorry, I'm a red.
I've never heard that.
Oh, you never heard of that? Oh, like percent? Oh, okay. Well, I'm a red. Con with a red or like a controller. The one I'm thinking of is a controller. Is I struggle with emotionality and like essentially feeling bad for people, like having empathy, which is something I need to work on.
I can tell.
But it also causes me not to have as deep of relationships as other people may have. And so I really want to work on tapping into that next level where I'm able to access that easier in scenes. But I mean, probably in real life as well.
I think the two will.
I think,
coexist.
I agree. So